Grand Rising, beautiful family. It's Retta's Recovery and Readings. It's Retta, and I've got a little something different for you this morning. I've been really struggling emotionally lately. I think it's just because the snow and, I'm inside so much and it's just cold. So I've been doing some reading, trying to get out any negativity, out of me. And how to do that. And I've been working on, the leftover remnants from my addiction. And it's not always easy to get that shame and, just those negative thoughts about ourselves out of our minds when we know that's not truly who we are. We know that we are the light that survived. We are the love that is overcoming each and every day. We are that source, the goodness, and we deserve everything good in our lives. Okay, this says the most extreme of the mind's destructive beliefs is the delusion of shame. Shame stems from the lie that we are rejected, invalid, and beyond the graces of love and forgiveness. It believes itself to be unlovable, unwanted, a waste, and destined for an existence of suffering. Rejection represents the complete opposite of the truth and the ultimate forgiveness of who we truly are. It can range from mild embarrassment, repression of your sexuality, racism, prejudice, all the way to feeling like the epitome of evil and cursed and rejected by divinity or God. The mind's story is shame is most likely stemming from a past experience of being rejected, shamed, abused, or neglected to some degree by a supposedly loving figure, usually parents, society, or religion. Our innocent mind then believes itself not to be worthy of love and should be embarrassed and ashamed of itself for a particular aspect of the human condition that is being rejected. Example, religion, race, ethnicity, gender, or sexual orientation. In its mild form, rejection is taught to us by parents, friends, or society by telling us what we are allowed to be or not be. It is modeled through mocking our skin color, hairstyle, dress, or appearance. Unique gifts, personality traits, etc. to our impressionable minds, this teaches us that our innocent self should be different from what it is, thus making us feel ashamed for being ourselves. Racism and all forms of discrimination are rooted in shame. Anyone who has suffered the trauma of direct or systematic racism will unfortunately have wounds in this theme. In religion, rejection may come from being taught to fear a god or divinity that can reject, curse, and damn us to a fiery hell of torture. The misunderstanding that this causes is to believe that an all-loving God could reject us, thus creating an overwhelming feeling of worthlessness. However, nothing could be further from the truth. Divinity's love is unconditional and always available. It is only the ego's rejection of this unconditional love that entraps and limits us and spreads the message of rejecting divinity. Through a trauma of rejection, the ego becomes attached to the belief of worthlessness and identifies with it. The mind then proceeds to push away anything that is loving and promoting innocence out of fear of being rejected by it again. This wound, when taken to its extremes, drives all grotesque experiences in life. Suicide, murder, genocide, rape, hate crimes, torture, etc. The ego in this wound believes itself to be above the law, and rules don't apply to it because it is an exception. In the twisted form of narcissism, the ego shame tests divine love by becoming completely vile in order to see if it will still be lovable. In this distortion of rejection and trauma equal love, it therefore feels that it is loved through hurting others and deriving a sense of meaning, power, and worth because it can cause pain. Thus, rejection represents the ego's desperation and cry for love, ironically trying to prove how unloved it is. To overcompensate for the wound of rejection, it is possible to outwardly appear charismatic, charming, or perfect, while secretly holding incredibly dark, selfish thoughts and hidden behavior. Example, the characteristic psychopath or megalomaniac. The revealing feature of such presentations is that the ego cannot handle having its impulses blocked and will resort to extreme self-deprecating behavior, such as hurting itself or others, as an expression of thinking God or life is cursing it. It will reject all accountability and believes that any of its hurtful or unloving impulses should be loved and allowed without consequences. However, because this is the theme of complete spiritual delusion, the most painful consequences stem from attachment to the wound of rejection. The ego tends to get itself rejected due to shameful choices. This creates a validation cycle of self-rejection and rejection from others. It is important to address any wounds of rejection we may be holding on to, no matter how insignificant we may feel they are, because the energy of shame is like a festering sore which slowly decays the soul if left unhealed. The wound of rejection will be triggered by anything traumatic, abusive, humiliating, or degrading. It is a theme of extreme trauma and the darkest of human experiences. While not all of us may struggle with its extreme expressions, we may experience rejection subtly in our subconscious. Usually it is an expression of embarrassment or any form of self-rejection, such as not liking our body. Accompanying thoughts may sound like, I am not good enough, God or life cursed me, I'm so stupid, I'm incapable, I'm worthless, nobody loves me, everybody rejects me, I am pathetic, I'm awful, I'm disgusting, I shouldn't have been born, I shouldn't be this way, God can't possibly love me, I will never be forgiven, I can't possibly still be lovable, I am evil, I am ugly, I am fat, I am vile, I am so sick, I am demented, I am lost. If projected externally, the same thoughts will arise as they are so disgusting, ugly, worthless, and so on. Due to traumatic experiences, the wound of rejection is usually spawned from it can be extremely difficult to talk about or face. Thus, out of defense, the mind denies, buries, and represses incidents of rejection, ultimately rejecting reality. This is due to internalizing trauma or shame rather than seeing it as a projection of the other person's theme of consciousness. The rejection we experienced from others is not personal, nor is it true. The wound of rejection is only ignorance begetting ignorance. Hurt people hurting people. And because it is ignorance that creates rejection, everyone involved is actually innocent. This does not mean an abuser's actions weren't a violation and they don't need to be held accountable. It is a reminder that any trauma can only come from a traumatized source. To let go of the wound of rejection and heal from its abuse, we have to replace it with compassion and understanding for ourselves and others. Those who rejected, traumatized, abused, or hurt us are only projecting their own rejections, traumas, abuse, or hurt. Our impressionable mind then made these painful projections about us, but it was never about us. We were and always are innocent. The wound of rejection subconsciously repeats cycles of abuse that were handed down to it. Thus, abused people tend to abuse others. To heal, our traumas need to be put in the past as something that does not negatively define us. If we don't, similar scenarios as the original trauma will trigger the mind to think the trauma is still happening now, thus stealing our present well-being. There needs to be a clear separation between what happened in the past and our new experiences. Otherwise, we carry the trauma with us forever. Example, PTSD. Our innocence is still there and can never be taken away, only temporarily hidden due to misidentification with the trauma of an experience. It is important to acknowledge this cycle so as not to go another day internalizing the rejection others projected onto us. We have to give it back in the sense, see the pain of the other person clearly. They have been rejected, abused, and traumatized, or hurt, and they tried to pass it on to us. But we don't have to accept it. Therefore, we are their greatest teacher and mirror, only reflecting what is being rejected within themselves. We are infinitely and unconditionally loved, even if those around us don't know how to properly express it and end up hurting us traumatically instead. To escape shame, the mind needs to cast blame onto its perpetrators in order to stop identifying with the energy of the experience. Setting healthy boundaries with our abusers is also necessary. And while this can temporarily move us out of self-sabotage and into the next theme of judgment, it is not the final solution. Whatever rejection we have felt due to others' projections, know that they were living with the same rejection themselves, probably worse. They are not getting away with anything. Our ultimate healing will eventually come through forgiving all those who wronged us in the past, therefore setting ourselves free. This will naturally arise later in our journey, for when we hold a grudge, we remain trapped in the cycle of rejection. In order to remember our innocence, we have to also remember theirs. For as we do unto others, we do onto ourselves. While this may seem impossible at the moment, the freedom that comes through forgiving ourselves and others will naturally reveal itself as we transition through the themes of consciousness. We can also heal the supporting wound of rejection by helping supporting others who have similar experiences. The greatest healers are the ones who have endured suffering and turn their own traumatic experiences into wisdom for others' healing. Healed people heal people. And I hope that I, am having a hand in people understanding that it is only by understanding our own pain and animosity and anger and not projecting it outwardly, but actually dealing with the, root cause of it, sets us truly free. The new narrative says, I am innocent. I am always loved. I can never be beyond divinity's love. I am pure. I am perfect as I am. I am always worthy of forgiveness and love. I am whole and complete exactly as I am. I am loved even in my weakest moments. Others' opinions of me have nothing to do with me, but are a reflection of themselves. Boundaries are healthy. Anyone projecting shame is living with their own shame. I give this shame back to its sender. It's healthy for me to identify my abusers. It is healthy for me to have boundaries with abusive people. I let go of the shame projected onto me. I love myself. I am divinely beautiful. I am loved as I am, even with the traumatic experiences that I have endured. My trauma does not negatively define me. I am accepted. Others want to love me. Others want to support me. Others want to see me happy. I matter to others. My existence matters. My life matters. My needs matter. My voice matters. I will not allow abuse any longer, ever in my life. I will speak my truth, and I accept my worth wholeheartedly. And I am worthy of all love. And I give it to myself unconditionally through everything, no matter what. I am worthy of everything good that this world has to give me, and I open myself for acceptance of everything good in the world. You are worthy of love. If you are not getting it from those around you, distance yourself. Go within. What was it that was allowing you to basically mistake abuse for love? We only know what we're taught, but we can teach ourselves better things, I promise. My life is living proof. I love you all. I hope everybody is just staying in their calm, in their truth, and living your best life in love. I love you guys. Be a blessing. Peace.